We're going to start with Chair Fisher's bill, House File 2225. And I'll ask Vice Chair Keeler if she's willing to move House File 2225 to bring that before the committee.
Yes, Chair, I move House File 2225 be moved before us.
And Chair Fisher, you've got the A1 amendment, and you wish to have that be moved?
Yes, I would like that moved, please.
Okay, and any comments on what that is, Chair Fisher?
What it is, it's technical assistance from the Department of Human Services to make sure that we've got everything that will fit into their framework.
Okay, great. Vice Chair Keeler, you're willing to move the A1 amendment?
Yes, I move the A1 amendment.
Okay, any comments, discussion to that motion, members? So the A1 amendment is before us. All in favor of approval of that amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion passes. Thank you. Representative Fisher, your bill is amended, and please present it to us.
Thank you, Chair Pinto and Committee, for the opportunity to present House File 2225. And I'd also like to thank, this is a good bipartisan bill. I also like to thank my co-authors, Keel, Knorr, and Baker, who are also on the bill. This bill is a proposal to provide prepared meals statewide to those experiencing food insecurity and who lack the resources or the ability to cook for themselves. Meals would be targeted to our neighbors not eligible for other federally funded meal programs and tailored to the cultural and dietary needs of Minnesotans being served. The funding proposed in House File 2225 would allow eligible grantees to work with community partners to bring nutritionally balanced meals customized to the communities they serve. Grantees will prioritize ingredients that are rescued or donated from the food banking network, as well as locally produced or processed ingredients to maximize state dollars and support Minnesota's agriculture industry. The funding in House File 2225 is estimated to provide over 750,000 meals each year for Minnesotans. At this point in time, I'd like to turn it over to my testifiers.
Excellent. Thanks. Thank you so much. We'll invite those folks to come up. Thank you, Chair Fisher. And once you get settled in, if you can just identify yourself, please. Share your preferred pronouns if you're comfortable with that, and proceed with your testimony.
Chair Pinto and members of the committee, my name is Robin Manthe, she, her, and I'm the Managing Director of Kitchen Coalition, a program of Second Harvest Heartland. I'm here to testify in support of the House File 2225 to create an ongoing grant fund that would support the distribution of prepared meals to communities in need in Minnesota. Many of you know Second Harvest Heartland through our work as a food bank, but since 2020, we have been working with kitchen partners across the state to create nutritionally balanced, culturally connected meals. Our research shows that 15% of those who are food insecure don't have the home, health, or ability to cook for themselves. And even with existing programs, many aren't getting the prepared meals that they need. Born out of the pandemic, Kitchen Coalition is now a permanent program of Second Harvest. We work with 16 restaurants and caterers, over 50% of them BIPOC owned, who turn donated and locally sourced ingredients into freshly prepared meals. And 75 nonprofit organizations help us get those two folks on a predictable schedule. Last year, we provided nearly 1.4 million meals and invested more than $6 million in local communities. We're working with Lutheran Social Services to request these state funds to support this work because we've seen success in bringing this model statewide. In early 2022, we received $3 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds through the Minnesota Department of Agriculture, which we used to administer a prepared meals grant. This funding supported the distribution of over 488,000 meals in the first 9 months of the grant period. People who received these meals are not served by existing state and federal meal programs, but still face barriers to cooking. Our CEO, Allison O'Toole, often says that if we can't keep people fed, we can't do much else right. Today was Hunger Day on the Hill, so I'm sure many of you heard from constituents about the need for broad investments and solutions to fight hunger. And we hope that you'll consider this proposal as part of that robust package on food security. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And our next testifier, come on up. And as you get settled in, we'll just ask you to identify yourself, share preferred pronouns if you're comfortable, and proceed with your testimony.
Chair Pinto, members of the committee, my name is Lisa Gilland, and I'm the Director of Operations of Meals at Lutheran Social Service of Minnesota. I oversee operations of our nutrition programs across the state. It's my honor to share with you today what the passing of HF 2225 will mean to our fellow Minnesotans. For 50 years, LSS Meals has provided meals wherever there has been an ask. In 2022, from War Road to Marshall, Mankato to North Minneapolis, LSS Meals prepared, packaged, and delivered 1.55 million meals through dining programs, youth organization contracts, and what I'm here to speak with you about this evening, prepared meal distributions. Distributions take place statewide at food shelves, local places of worship, or community centers with volumes ranging from 300 to 1,000 meals. Meals are often handed out within 5 minutes, and individuals are often turned away because the demand is so strong. These distributions not only provide relief financially, but offer one of the most basic needs we don't often speak of, hunger and the need of nutrition. I would like to take a moment to share a few stories of how this community meal distributions have made a difference in the lives of others. A college student in Thief River Falls explained that even though he works and goes to school full-time, he doesn't have enough to make ends meet. He said these meals have meant that he could at least have one meal a day, knowing where it's coming from, versus no meal that day at all. In Worthington, a mother picks up meals at the distribution for her disabled son. She explained that having these meals available for him not only ensures that he's receiving the right nutrition, but it's also relieving her of caretaking tasks that she has difficulty in completing due to her age and mobility constraints. In December, I took part in a distribution where the LSS Meals team prepared 1,700 meals. Cars lined the streets waiting for 5 blocks. In between these cars, a family walked up to the distribution with a radio flyer wagon to transport meals home. It was very clear they were in need of food. The gratitude they shared with me is something I think of every single day in this mission of service. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your testimony and for your work. Then finally, there's a third testifier signed up. Great. Please identify yourself once you get a chance to settle in and proceed.
Chairman Pinto and the committee. My name is Trung Pham. I'm the owner of Pham Rice Bowl. I have been in partnership with Second Harvest Heartland now for the last 2 years in preparing the meals for the community. Every Thursday morning, I reserve the day to deliver the food to our North Minneapolis location, to the Shiloh Temple. And what I'm seeing, the families, the individuals that come out to get these meals, they're greatly and extremely appreciative of getting these meals. You know, I'm humbled from the fact that there's so many hungers and so many people out there that need these meals. But on the flip side, we're so happy that we're able to provide a solution for these individuals. Food insecurity and hunger doesn't extend, it knows no boundary. It's extending to the colleges and university. Last week when I delivered a catering to the University Aquatic Center, the director there, she mentioned there was a gal has not been eaten for 24 hours. She was a lifeguard and she ended up passing out at the pool. Second Harvest, they do extend their meals out to the colleges and the community. So when I hear of these kind of stories, it just breaks my heart because at one point I was one of those students that didn't get those meals during the school year. Now, Pham Rice Bowl, we weren't immune during the pandemic. In addition to that, our restaurant located on East Lake. So during the pandemic and the civil unrest, our restaurant struggled. So when we partnered with the Second Harvest Heartland, they're able to reimburse us for some of the labor costs to produce these meals. So that's allowed us to bring back some of our very good employees back to work and keep our doors open. So through Second Harvest Heartland and the funding that go through there, it certainly create a major positive impact within the community, and it's just not to the people who's serving the meals. Thank you so much for your time.
And thank you for your testimony and for your work. Appreciate it. Is there any other member of the public who wishes to testify on the bill? So not seeing any, we're going to move to discussion or questions. Members, any of those things? Looking to see. It's a terrific proposal, Chair Fisher. Lee Daniels, we'll go to you as usual.
Thanks, Chair Pinto. I appreciate that. Appreciate the bill, Representative Fisher. The only question I have is, do we have like a list of who the people that will qualify for the grants? Because I know it wasn't in the bill, but I didn't know if there was a specific people that were going to qualify or how that works.
Chair Fisher.
Chair Pinto, thank you. Representative, is when you're saying the people qualified, do you mean the organizations who would be receiving the dollars?
Representative Daniels?
Yes, in subdivision 2, the eligible grantees, that's what I was just asking, if there's a pre-made list or somebody that we know is going to be applying for that, just kind of give it a little background.
Chair Fisher?
Thank you, Chair Pinto and Representative Daniels. Basically, what this is getting at is what we're looking at is probably it's going to be people like Second Harvest. You're probably going to be looking at like Lutheran Social Services, the nonprofits that have been around for years doing this kind of work. So we're making sure that we've got a group that has got a stable track record, who's been doing this, who did it very well during before the pandemic, during the pandemic, and afterwards.
Chair Fisher, I'm guessing there's probably a limited number of organizations
Yes.
kind of have this expertise or history, but Lee Daniels?
That was my really only question. I kind of love the premise of it, and, we've got to help these families and just want to know where the money's going to be going and make sure we have, like I always say, safeguards on where the money's going. So that was my only question.
And Lee Daniels, did you, it looks like there's one of the testifiers is willing to answer your question, possibly, or is available if you'd like that, or to comment. Up to you, Lee Daniels.
That'd be great.
Okay, please, yeah, take a seat.
Representative Daniels.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on, wait. Take a seat. Okay, make sure the microphone's coming up to your. And then yes, and then please proceed.
Yes,
Ms.
Representative Daniels, we administered the ARPA grant last year. We ended up awarding to 15 different organizations in order to cover the state. And as mentioned, Second Harvest, Lutheran Social Services, Catholic Charities, as well as some CAC, some other organizations throughout the state that have experience providing prepared meals. But there were over 15 that were awarded and more that applied. So there's qualified meal producers. Many of them are already making other types of state meals, like Older Americans Act meals.
Thank you. Lee Daniels, anything further?
Thank you so much for that. And then is it possible you could email me a list or get us the committee a list?
Yes, Ms. Nancy, if you could send the committee or get it to Ms. Colburn, and we'll make sure we get it out to everybody.
Great.
Yeah, good. Thank you. Thank you for answering the question. Thanks for the questions, Lee Daniels. And Chair Fisher, you get the last word.
Thank you, committee, for the opportunity. This is a great bipartisan bill. I ask for your support so that we can make sure that we're helping Minnesotans who don't have food security. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair Fisher. And with that, the chair lays over House File 2225 for possible inclusion in a committee budget bill. And again, thank you so much for your work, Chair Fisher, and your leadership. Appreciate you being here.